Yeah, so we got a call about a dog stuck under a house, and I didn't know if it was a stray dog or an owned dog. I arrived at the call about 5 minutes after I got it. I was just down the street, and when I arrived, I talked to the family there who said it was their own dog, a large black female lab named Midnight, and that she had busted through basically a metal screen that led underneath the house and had gone all the way back and was stuck underneath a wooden beam. So when I arrived, I poked my head in there and I could see her with my flashlight. It was very dark in the very back. And I could see her moving her head a little bit, but her body wasn't moving. They said that, yeah, basically her hip was preventing her from moving any more forward. And dogs have a very hard time when they're laying down going backwards. But it was a very small space, and I was actually unsure if I could even fit under there. I asked them how long the dog had been there. They said they had been out of town, and the fireworks from the Lakers win had scared her. She was outside at the time. They said normally she was inside, and so they didn't know where she was. And when they were in their kitchen, they actually heard her through the floor, which is she was underneath there, inside the house. And so I told them that it might end up having to cut through the floor to get her, because I was unsure if anybody could even fit under there. And they actually called a contractor to come out and possibly look at it. He was just down the street. He showed up. He said, he couldn't fit under there, but the son that was there then decided that he might be able to go down there, and so he went underneath the house, and I poked my head in through the opening to coach him, and while he went down there, he was able to reach her, and I said, best thing would be try and pull her leg, see if she would go backwards, and we can get her out of there. But he was unable to dislodge her. But while I was watching him, I gauged that I could fit in there, and so I offered to go in after he came out. Luckily, the contractor had full protective suits. We have our own, but he let me borrow one, and I put on goggles, a mask, because it's very dusty and dark down there. I had a flashlight. I was able to crawl and get to Midnight. I did try to pull her, but when I noticed when I was trying to pull her, she resisted, and in doing so, on the other side of the wooden beam she was under, she would lift up her leg, and that prevented me from being able to pull her. I did notice in front of her there was a large hole dug in the soft dirt, which indicated that she had been trying to get out and had been moving but was unable to do so. So I realized that this dog did need assistance. It was not going to get out on her own. So then went out, and we devised a plan basically where the son would go in and crawl to the front of her. He'd be able to calm her down. She knows him and everything. And he'd be able to push her while I crawled behind her and basically pulled as carefully as we could. So we both got in position. I started pulling, he started pushing a little bit. She started kicking up dust to where I couldn't see. Luckily I had my mask and my goggles on, but she had a flashlight. She ended up covering that with dirt. It was pitch black. All I had was just her leg in my hand, and listening to his voice as he said that slowly she was being moved, and inch by inch. Took a couple minutes. It was very hot, very dark, but then once she was free, you could tell that she was very relieved. I started just crawling basically backwards. I had a leash on her, just pulled her a little bit. She was a little resistant at first, still scared, but then once she saw the light from the opening, she actually ended up going right by me, going out right to her family, who was very happy to see her.